$50, $50, $50, $50, and then all of a sudden you're spending $400 and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Hey guys, it's Amber. So today I'm going to do a video that I haven't done for a very long time, and this is going to be an anti-haul. So before I start in that, I know the anti-hauls have become very much more popular on YouTube in the past 6 months to a year, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not trying to take anyone's idea. I actually have done anti-hauls for a very, very long time. I have some that I think are from 2 years ago. So I'll go ahead and link those anti-hauls down below so you guys can check them out. And sometimes there's just an idea that a lot of people have that get kind of popular, and I haven't done them as often as some other people have, so it might seem like it's not my thing, but I have done them. I just haven't been very regular about doing them. Since it's been about 6 months, it's time for me to do another one. What kind of sparked this whole anti-haul thing for me today was there has been so many things that I have been wanting to make an order for. Things from Sephora, things from Ulta. I'm usually pretty good about passing up new awesome palettes that are coming out that are exciting, but sometimes there's something that just gets me and I'm like, ugh, I really want that, and then I just have to think, do I need it? Do I have the extra money for it? You know, is there a special occasion I'm buying this for? And sometimes, you know, in the real world outside of YouTube, you just don't need stuff. I know, right? And I do try to find a nice balance between purchasing things for my channel and being a normal person. And it's like, well, I really want to try these things, and a few of these things I might end up purchasing. I'm putting them on my birthday list, which my birthday's in July. But I wanted to share with you what I'm going to be using instead of these things for now, and just show you how much money you can save and get a similar look from a different palette or a different product. Now, none of the things that I'm sharing that I'm going to be using instead are going to be dupes. So this is not a dupes video in any way. The colors are not going to be the same. The formulas are not going to be the same. This is just like, hey, I don't have this and I would really like it, but I don't necessarily need to buy it right now, but I'm going to use this instead. So I hope that makes sense. So the first thing that I have been seeing a lot about, and I'm sure you guys have seen a lot, I think there was 1 week where every single day there was 3 or 4 videos of the Jaclyn Hill Becca face palette review. And to be honest, I didn't watch all of them because I was like, another review on the palette. Everyone loves it. Everyone thinks it's amazing. Yes, I know. So I have seen a lot about that palette, and I think that palette sounds really amazing, and I think it's great to support YouTubers, you know. Coming out with their own palette is so awesome. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using instead. So I do actually already have Champagne Pop. So for me, it's like, I already spent like $30, $40 on this, so to buy the palette seemed a little redundant. But if you don't have Champagne Pop, I do think that's a really good deal for the amount of products that you get. I have heard that the product in the pan is formulated to be a little bit stiffer. It's still pigmented, it's still like creamy, still applies really well. It's just a little stiffer so it doesn't break, which if you guys know, if you watch my highlighter challenge, my Champagne Pop shattered. It literally just slid out of the pan and it was like, so I'm glad they made it a little bit firmer. I also have a ton of highlighters. I have a ton of blushes. So these are 2 highlighters that I'm just going to show you just because they're ones that I haven't used a lot as of lately. This is Soft and Gentle from MAC. I mean, this is one of those highlighters that was all the rage and then everyone forgot about it and moved on to something else. But I mean, I have a ton of highlighter in this. Like, there's a ton. So another one, if you want to do more of a blushy highlight, because one of the colors in there does kind of look like a blushy highlight to me, is Stereo Rose. So this is great for deeper skin tones. It's also great for like a peachy vibe. And again, I have so much in here. I also have the Mary Luminizer from the Balm in here, and I have tons of blushes. I mean, blushes is one of those things that I love. I'm not lacking in the blush department, so although I might not be able to find exact dupes for the colors, I have lots of blushes to choose from. The next thing is probably the one thing I want the most, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Oh my goodness, this palette is just, it is so beautiful. It has those like creamy neutrals, but then it has these pops of like burgundies and plummy kind of mauvey tones, and it's like, Oh, that's so right up my alley. I love those types of colors. This is the one that really started my spark for wanting to make an order, as I was like, oh, this is so gorgeous. I really, really need this. Right before I made my order for this palette, I had a car issue come up and then another issue come up that I was like, you know, I need to be a responsible adult and take care of things I have to do before things I want to do. So this is me being a responsible adult and not buying it. But I'm going to show you some things that I already had that I think will get me through a little bit. First off is I have this Smashbox on the Rocks palette, and this does have some really nice creamy mattes over here. But the thing that I love is it's got these gorgeous plummy burgundy tones right there, which I'm like, okay, I mean, obviously take this all out of it. I'm like, you know, you kind of work those in together. I could probably, you know, follow along on some tutorials and get possibly a similar look. I also have been greatly neglecting my Mirabella shadows. These were shadows that I was trained on when I first started doing hair and makeup, and they were my holy grail. I love them. They're super pigmented. They're super creamy. There's shadows from here that I've repurchased time and time again. You can see that one, I've seriously, the pan is completely empty. I need to take that out. But look at all these creamy, pinky, mauve tones. I mean, this color is a matte. So pretty. And it would just make a nice smoky color. And then this one right here, this one's creamy. You can see how pigmented that one is. And it's got a little bit of the shimmer and shine in there. So I feel like I have a lot of shadows that fall into that category that I haven't really touched as of late. So this might inspire me to dig into some of these palettes and get some more use out of these and be inspired by the Modern Renaissance palette. Now, if someone buys it for my birthday, am I gonna be sad? No. Okay, next thing from Anastasia is the liquid lipsticks. I've heard so many good things about the liquid lipsticks, but I do have a lot of liquid lipsticks. They're all kind of from lesser price points. They are ColourPop, and then the rest of them I got from Shop Miss A from the Santee line. Here's all the liquid lipsticks that I have. I have quite a bit, and I only have one pair of lips, and I'm not doing makeup on anyone else. So I've got some nudes, I've got some brights, I've got a deep. Even though I'd really, really like to try the formula, I bought these for $5, $5 or $6 a pop. These were from Shop Miss A for $1. And although they don't dry down completely matte, I mean, it's a decent product for the price. So it's hard to justify spending $20+ on one. So for now, I'll just use these. Okay, the next product isn't necessarily expensive. I just don't think that I really need it right now. And it is the L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation. I love the Pro Matte Foundation from L'Oreal. It is one of my favorite foundations. And I used that exclusively for quite a long time. I wasn't using any of my other foundation. And if you follow my channel, you may know that I'm using the NARS Sheer Glow in my Project Pan. So I'm figuring that a glowy foundation, like if I already have a high-end foundation that I'm trying to use up before it goes bad, then it would be kind of silly for me to purchase the other foundation right now. Maybe that'd be a great thing to replace this with once I use this up, but for right now, I don't really need to have another glowy foundation when I'm trying to focus on using up this. I just don't want to get so many foundations open that they all expire and I'm like, well, that was kind of a waste. Now, the next palette I probably couldn't get my hands on even if I wanted to, and that is the Too Faced Peach palette. They have come out and said they're going to release some more before the holiday season comes, which is a long time away. But if you guys saw my tutorial with my Shop Miss A products, I did use this Clean Color Minerals, and this is such a pretty peachy shade. I was really happy with the peachy look that it gave me. And to be honest, it's not like there's a ton of just peach shades in the peach palette. There are some, but there's a lot of browns and greens and purples and other things. Also, if I wanted to, I could take this Stereo Rose, which is very peachy as well, pop that in on the lid, and look how pretty that would be together. Like that peachy shimmer with that, I think would be gorgeous. I think it would give me the effect that I'm looking for with that peachy summer look, without having to purchase that whole palette even if I could find it. And of course, you know, I have tons of other eyeshadows I could probably go through and try to find things that are similar and that kind of thing. So if I was just after the Too Faced formula itself, I do have the Chocolate Bar palette and the Bon Bons palette. So although those aren't gonna be dupes for colors, I can still get my feel for how Too Faced works and the kind of butteriness of their shadows and everything like that. The next palette, and it just depends on which review I watch, whether I decide that I want it or I don't want it, and I don't know why. But that is the Lorac Pro 3. So it has so many beautiful neutrals. It does have a pop of like kind of a burgundy tone in there. It has the whole top row being mattes, the bottom row being shimmers. Out of all the Pro palettes, I feel like it's kind of like a cross between the Pro palettes and the Unzip palettes, and it's got some of the rosy gold tones. And I don't have these with me, but I own all 3 Naked palettes. Well, there's more than 3, but I own 1, 2, and 3. And so it's kind of like, do I need another neutral palette? Probably not, but I don't know that there's any dupes or any similarities in there, but I know there's so many beautiful neutrals that I have in those 3 Naked palettes that it's kind of hard to justify buying another neutral palette, even though I really want to. One of my favorite things for my like no makeup days is my IT Cosmetics CC cream. This is something I'm definitely going to repurchase in the future because I love that stuff. It is my holy grail light foundation. It goes on nice, the color matches me well. I mean, it doesn't last all day long, but for times when I just want something quick and easy, I love the finish of it and it covers up so well. I'm gonna refrain from purchasing it right now just because, like I said, once you start adding all these things up, it's like $50, $50, $50, $50, and then all of a sudden you're spending $400 and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? So I did recently purchase this Santee Stylish Silky Milk Foundation, and although this is a foundation, to me it acts a little bit more like a BB cream CC cream, and I got this from Shop Missy from $1. The color isn't bad. It is creamy. It kind of goes on feeling like more like a lotion. And so I just decided I'm going to keep using this. It's an SPF 20, so it does have a little bit of sun protection. Not as much as the IT Cosmetics, but for right now, I think this will be okay. I'm going to get some use out of this before I decide to splurge on the IT Cosmetics again. Okay, if you saw Tati Glam Life Guru's video on the Cover FX Illuminating drops, you probably felt just like me and you're like, I need to have those in my life. So gorgeous, so beautiful. Just the way she just dripped them out, I'm like, you just want to rub them all over you. They're so beautiful. They are like $42, I think, a bottle. And most people are like, oh, I can't decide on one color, which one do I want? And I'm like, why don't they make a little kit that has like teeny little sample sizes, like $50, and do just even like a tiny little bit of each one so you could test them out? That would be perfect. But I'm not going to purchase those because I don't need them. I have a lot of highlighters. One highlighter I do have that is a tiny size is this NARS Orgasm Illuminator, and I haven't used a ton of this, and I don't know that this is a shade that's exactly like what's in that, but it is a liquid highlighter and it is very beautiful. This is probably a little bit better for deeper skin tones than me, but it's something I have that I can use. I also have a liquid illuminator from e.l.f. and I also have Benefit High Beam. So I'm not for lack of a liquid illuminator. If I wanted to get kind of that liquidy rosiness on my cheeks, I definitely could use this instead of splurging on the other one. The next thing I was excited to see is that Ulta is now carrying online and soon to be in stores the Carly Bible palette. And this palette is super affordable. It's only like $14.50 or something crazy. And so that was another one that I may end up purchasing just because it is affordable. It's a YouTuber brand I want to support, and I just think it would be really fun to have. But once again, I don't have anything particular to dupe this, but I have a ton of palettes. I have a ton of highlighters, ton of blushes. It's not something I need. It's not going to fill a void in my collection. It's not something where I'm like missing something right there. It's just purely because I would like it. And so it's something I'm going to pass on for now. Another thing I saw when I was browsing the Ulta website is Maybelline now has a Master Contour stick that has like a highlighter on one side and a contour on the other. And I thought that was a very interesting concept. Even though it's not very expensive, I was like, well, I do have other things that I could use. I still have my Cella Lace Ivory Pencil that does a really great job of a matte highlight, especially for nose contouring or brightening up the cheekbone without adding shimmer. And I don't have it with me, but I have a little sample, deluxe sample size of the Tarte Sculptor, which is the same idea, but you know, in the bronze family. So I definitely could use those two products and get kind of the same effect. And these are higher end products in that, but I just thought, you know, that's not something I need to have right now. And I haven't been getting enough use out of these anyway, so why purchase another product that's kind of the same thing? All right, and the last thing on my anti-haul today would be the Meet Matte Matrimony palette. This palette to me just looks gorgeous because it's like, there's so many creamy mattes, and when you have hooded eyes, it's really nice to work with matte shadows because they are the most flattering on your eyes. But again, I have matte shadows that I can use. I do have a palette from The Balm, and this has this whole middle row that's all matte right here. So to get some of those basic colors, I could use this, and it gives me a taste of that Balm formula. Also, I have this little palette that I do really enjoy from e.l.f. This is the Mad for Matte. I have a good variety of neutrals in here. I could create quite a few looks from. And also there are matte shadows I have popped here and there in other palettes that I probably could use instead of that. Although that is something that I thought was really cute, and I really liked that they had such a nice variety in that palette. So that is everything in my anti-haul. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you guys here. I upload 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm always happy to see you guys here joining me. And I also love to read your comments and just see how you guys are doing. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. I'm going to be doing a more dramatic look with a lot of the products from my Shop Miss A haul. I'm also going to be incorporating the products I picked for my project palette, which is